I always lived in Brampton. Like I was
Your whole
always,
life?
yeah, for the most part, I was always in Brampton. Like legit. Like I went from Brampton to actually no, I went from Brampton to Windsor, back to Brampton because my mom like loves Windsor, so she like used to just take me out there.
Is
And
your
like
mom
we
a
would
party
move
girl?
there. No, she's actually a quiet girl. That's why she
Yeah.
moved over there because she
Total
like
opposite. No
as
one
much
would
as
know.
much as Windsor is like a party place.
Yeah.
There's places
Yes.
that's it's just
Shout
very,
out to
like,
Windsor.
right,
Right?
right. Like some places are just quiet, so
Yeah.
she just kind of like likes that area. So we
Mhm.
just kind of I bounce back and forth, and then now I've been here since I was young. So yeah,
Yeah, so then, okay, I wanted to talk about how you kind of grew into the whole fashion thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was watching your whole, like everything.
Yeah.
When Joyce told me that we got you, like, I was watching your videos from, I think it was like 3 years ago you started
Mhm.
YouTube,
yeah, mhm.
all the way till now.
Yeah.
Might I say your editing got a lot better.
Right, way better. I know.
Your editing got a lot better.
Way better. Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
So just to give you the gist of the fashion.
Mhm.
When I was younger, it was actually my dad. So shout out to him because my dad was actually
Mhm.
the reason why I got into fashion.
No, wait. I want everyone to understand. Can we get a picture to insert it
Yeah.
so everyone can understand?
Yeah,
'Cause
like,
we're
I've seen
oh, his
pictures of
dad.
your
Yeah,
dad. Yeah,
so
I'm like, wow.
Basically, like he's my twin. Like,
Mhm.
well, I'm his twin, and
Mhm.
like he's the reason why I got into it. So when I was younger, he would kind of tell me what goes with what,
Mhm.
the fabrics that go with
Mhm.
what you need to wear, what not to wear. So he was
Oh,
kind
he
of
was
like,
into it? Like,
oh, yeah,
that?
he-
Did he
yeah,
have like
he's-
jobs into it or
yeah.
something? Or he
My dad
just-
has always been like a fashion advocate. Like he's
Yeah.
always been into it. He's always loved it.
Mhm.
And yeah, he just kind of told me what to wear, what not to wear. And you know, when I got older, probably like maybe like 13, 14, I started picking out my own outfits. And then he was
Mhm.
like, okay, well, I don't need to do it anymore
You have
because
it
he knows what
online.
he's doing.
Yeah.
And I kind of just took that and just kind of made it just different.
Mhm.
I couldn't really say how. I just took it and I was like, I want to be
Different in
something
what,
more.
different in what way though?
I kind of felt like I wanted to be something more than just that. You know, I wanted
Mhm.
people to kind of see like through me when it came to the outfits, which is why I came up with the term "lick my fashion." So "lick my fashion" is something where when you see an outfit, you're like, whoa, but it's deeper than that. It's like,
Mhm.
what does this person represent? Why are
Mhm.
they like this? Why do they represent what they represent? So it's
Mhm.
deeper than just the clothes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I was trying to go for. And all of a sudden, I just kind of said, you know what? We're gonna try to do different things. We're gonna try to
So like,
come out the market.
yeah,
and-
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Did you want to like? So were people complimenting you at first? Like, oh shoot, like I love what you're wearing. You should put that on YouTube. I love these pictures. Is that how it all started?
Yeah. So I was just wearing like, you know, I'm not gonna say a basic because you know everyone's style is different. I'm just
Mhm.
gonna say I was doing like things that most people were doing at the time, and then I kind of just did different things like, you know, like knee-high socks with like bow ties and different colors and things like that. And Joyce, you know this, like, so it's
How
like
long have you guys known each other?
a while.
I met Jalen when I was in high school. I think
Yeah.
it was grade 10.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a
Grade
while.
11?
So it's been years.
Oh,
So she
shoot.
kind of
I've seen his whole, like, okay, so you see when, like, everyone was dressing up as, like, nerds and stuff?
Yeah.
I will never
that era,
forget.
that like 2009 era. is,
Jalen
right?
came to, I think it was Willy Bounce or Pasta Pasta or something like that.
Mm,
Guys, can we have a reunion?
I'll
Right.
laugh. Bring
Okay.
it back.
He came wearing the ripped up jeans before anybody else was ripping up stuff.
I read it.
Jalen's jeans are ripped up. He had the suspenders. He had
Yeah.
the bow tie. He had the glasses. And I was just there looking at him like, this nigga. Like, are you sure?
Yeah, like and that's what it was, and I just kind of just did different things, and that's what it was.
He
So
definitely
The
was
funny
never
thing
afraid.
is, I was just about to say
Yeah,
that. Like, so
yeah.
many people are just like, even when it comes to clothes, let
Mhm.
alone what we were talking about before,
Right.
like, even when it just comes to clothes, people are so afraid, like, oh, I don't want to wear this because I don't want people to think I'm like this, or I don't want to
Right.
wear this because of this, or that. So from day one, you just been fearless with it. You're just
yeah,
like,
so I'm not gonna say like I've always been that way because
Mhm.
there was times where like I would wear clothing and like I would just kind of be like, I'm not sure if I want to go outside of this because I know everyone's gonna stare, and that's something that I had to kind of understand
did
that
you
people
care?
are.
Like, do you?
I did at first.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did. But I knew it was like I did, but then I didn't because I still was like, I'm going to wear this anyway. Even
Mhm.
though I know people
like
are going to
that,
stare, even though I know I was going to get the attention that I kind of didn't
Mhm.
want at the time.
Mhm.
I guess over time, you just kind of learn like, listen, you gotta learn how to take risks when it comes to fashion. You gotta learn how to take risks at the time. And I wanted to
Mhm.
set a trend and I wanted it to be different. So I was like, the only way to do that is to, you know, set a trend and do different things and wear different things.
Mhm.
And with that came the hate. With that came, you know, I'm not gonna
But
say
why do people hate just because you're wearing a different fabric or
I-
different color? Like, what is it? Like,
I think it's because it's not a you problem, it's a them problem.
Yeah.
I think they are so uncomfortable
Mhm.
because they know they can't do it themselves. So when they see somebody else do it, they're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, he's really doing it, but like I want to do it, but I can't, you know? So they kind of, I guess, flesh that out and kind of say different things to kind of make you feel some type of way, even though you're doing nothing wrong. So I think that's what it is. People just used to hate. They used to like say things. I used to get bullied because I was literally different. Yeah, I was bullied for standing out and being different. That's just what it was. Like wearing suspenders, you know, ripped up jeans, and I guess you could say I was ahead of my time.
Yeah, he was.
I was definitely ahead of my time because a lot of the times people were just wearing like, again, basic like clothing, regular clothing that everyone wears, and I was just coming in with some, you know, like nerd glasses, suspenders, this, that, scroll belts, name chains, dog tags.
So he had the one
like,
that was animated that went across.
Yeah, like I used
my
to
fashion. I was like, or
so that's
said
what I used to
Jalen
do.
at the time.
So that's just what it was. And
so what type of bullying was it like? Because
It
I'm
was-
shocked. Like you say bullying, like just for
it was a lot. So
Yeah.
Okay, wait, but I did not bully him.
no,
I
she
loved him off rip.
she was dope. Like honestly, Joyce was dope. Joyce has been dope ever since like I was young. And like I would just get a lot of like hate comments. Oh, you're gay, you're a faggot, you're this, you're that, because of the way I was, like the way I dressed. You know what I mean? And on top of that too, like I'm more around my mom and more around like women. So like my personality just can come off as a certain way where people just kind of think, okay, well, he dresses like this and he acts like this. Well, he must be this, you know? And at one point I couldn't handle it.
I was just gonna say, did you like feel obligated to come out and say like, yo, everyone shut the hell up? Like
That's the thing, like
Wait.
yeah.
So there was this one time
right.
when you were on Latoya's vlog,
Right.
and she came out,
Mhm.
or was it was her or was Adam?
Yeah.
And they just asked you like on camera, they're like, so
Mhm.
they're like, are you gay?
Right.
Was that planned?
That
or
was-
was that
That was planned.
oh, okay.
It was planned. So
Okay.
it was planned.
I hope so.
Yeah. It was planned. So
because
basically
like when that happened, I
Yeah.
was like, it was like my stomach
Yeah.
flipped, and I was like, oh.
yeah, no, it was planned. I guess we just wanted to kind of set the trend
Silence,
silence everybody
Yeah.
because everyone just kept saying what they wanted to say.
It was getting to the point
And
where
it
you
was-
have to respond though.
Yeah, it was bad.
The moment
It
like
was
when
bad.
he jumped on, like he's always had a following on Instagram and all that type of stuff. But the moment he started working with Toronto's like Latoya is a big YouTuber in
Right.
Toronto. Her
Right.
and Rochelle. I don't know if Rochelle's still on YouTube or not,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
those like when he was on their platform,
Right.
it was just like everything was magnified by 10.
Yeah.
Right? So people who don't like her were watching, and then because they don't like her, automatically they don't like him.
Yeah.
So they came for him, and like I was reading the comments because like that's my friend.
Yeah.
I was getting mad. Like I
Yeah.
was like
It
in
was-
the comments, like I got mud on. Like I was
Yeah,
so
it was
upset.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like at a point where like I remember the exact year was 2016, and like people were just coming for me right, left, and center, like all over social media. And like I had a shutdown. Like I had to like literally disable my account because I was over it. Like I was just over it. I was over the beef. I was over the drama. I was just over like people just.
Were you responding to people like clapping back though?
I
Like,
was clapping back at one point, but it wasn't like it was like rude. It was like disrespectful, like clapbacks, and like it comes to a point where like you give the haters what they want.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I could have just like kind of silenced it and kind of moved on, but they get to you. Like you're a human. Everyone's a human, so it does get to you at a point. You know
what's funny? I always say to myself, like, I know yours is a little bit of a smaller scale, but like big, huge celebrities like your Drakes or whatever, like I always thought to myself, oh, you have all this money, you could deal with the hate. Like, don't worry, just push that aside. It gets that crazy.
It gets intense. Like, look, do you know how many celebrities like commit suicide over
That's true.
foolishness like this? Like when people say things to them and stuff, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So to not get to myself to that point, I had to kind of just disable and shut out everyone and just surface and just really just kind of figure out who I am and what's next and things like that. And then as the years went by, like it just got gradually better and better because I'm not out to, hurt nobody or be disrespectful. And that's why I think why it was even more confusing because I was getting all this hate and I'm like, nice. Like I'm like this nice guy who gets hated on.
It does be like the nicest people that do go through like the weirdest stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So I was like this nice person who just got hated on. And I'm like, wow. Like even if you are humble, even if you are a person of,
They don't
a man of God, like people will still come for you. And I'm just like, wow. So that's pretty much how that went.
It's so important to take time to by yourself.
Yeah.
Like social media, even like me, I'm so addicted to it right now. So I can only imagine how much it got for you, how bad it got for you, just to like say, nah, I'm cutting everything off.
Yeah.
But how do you do that when you have like channels and
That's the thing.
people to, like,
Because
yeah.
I'm a real person.
Mhm.
That's why I feel like
mm.
if people who are like, you know, YouTubers or celebrities like think that, okay, like it still needs to go on because, you know, I still need to make my money. It's kind of like you're losing yourself. Like
Mhm.
as a real individual, it's okay to take time and shut down. No one's going to go anywhere. Where is
Facts.
everyone going? They're already following
Wow,
you.
that's true
They're not going to
still.
go anywhere. So that's why I keep telling people, like, if you want to take that time to recoup and take a month or 2 months. I remember even last year I took a hiatus. Like I went on social media for like a month and people were asking for me, like, where are you? Like, what's going on? You know, people.
Did you just do that just to get away from stuff? Like, were you going through something?
Yeah,
and
no,
then
I
you
just
want
kind of got away. I just wanted to, like, you know, I was going through things, but I wanted to just kind of
Recharge,
resurface and
like,
just
yeah.
recharge.
Yeah.
And I felt like I just needed to be off of social media. I needed to be off of the grounds of all those things because sometimes stuff like that can really put you in a mood. Like you start seeing somebody else, you know, you think they're better than you, and then you compare yourself. Like social media is a trap.
Yeah, you
Like
always say that, man.
you guys don't even understand. Like as an individual, like just because I know, like social media is a trap. It will make you think that you're not worthy. It will make you think that you're a nobody. It will make you think that you're not doing nothing. But in reality, you have to understand, like we're all, you know, it's everyone has a different time.
Right.
Everyone has a different mode. Everyone has a different perspective. So if this person is far, maybe they've been doing it longer than you. You know, you have to think about different aspects, but people don't think like that. And then they just kind of shut down and get depressed because it's like, well, they did it before me and they're da-da-da-da. You know, then people just get upset and
But
it's like,
if
wow.
I could play devil's advocate real quick.
Yeah,
So you say social media is a trap and whatever,
it
but
is.
you have like a large following
Right.
as well, right?
Mhm.
So when let's say I never knew you and I fell on your page and I was into styling and fashion and all that, and I grew some type of jealousy just because I see you blowing big. Like, what would you say to someone like me who's trying to be like you? I guess.
But
you know
here's
what
the
I mean?
thing, though. That's why it's good for people who have social media followings to actually build that ground of making their followers not feel like they're lower. Because my followers, they know that they can come to me and talk to me about a
It's true.
situation.
Yeah.
They know that they can say, hey, like, you know, I want to become a stylist. Can I have some help? You know, like I've set the grounds of I don't want anyone to feel like they're lower than me or they're below me. I'm just a person who's chasing my dream through God itself. And I want you guys to do the exact same thing. But don't make it seem like because I have more followers that I'm more worthier than you.
Do you think influencers do that because
Of course they do.
because of it? Just because of the number of the followers?
Of course they do. There are some
Do what?
like just
Like make their followers feel lower.
like
than-
okay, so I don't know if you guys seen a video. It surfaced on social media and this guy said people have influencers in their name, but who are you really influencing? What are you influencing? And I feel like some of these influencers, they're not really influencing positivity. They're not really influencing things that, you know, make people feel good about themselves. You want to flash money, you want to flash cars, you want to flash Gucci, you want to flash this, you want to flash that. What is that message really sending? What are you really saying to your followers? Are you telling them, hey, like, you know what? It's okay to do this. It's okay to splurge. And some people may not even have that money, but you're posting all these things and it's like, wow, like he really, you know, has a car. He has this, he has that. He's putting up, you know, bands on top of bands on top of bands. What am I? But for me, that's why my page is so PG because, you know, it's for everybody. You will never catch me, you know, flashing money. You will never catch me saying, oh, I have a new car, this. And if I do, it's just explaining if you work hard, you'll achieve it.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, it's funny, like on your page, like what it mostly is just styling, dancing, and you just talking about God.
Right. Like
that's
that is
about
what it is. And I want to make sure when people come to my page, they're influenced the right way. And they come and they're like, okay, I feel comfortable following him. Like, I don't feel like I'm out of place. So that's what I try to build. I try to build people and make them understand that, like, you know, I got up and followed a dream and boom, you know, now I'm here and you can do the same thing if you work extremely hard. But I don't want people to feel less than me.
You say, sorry, you have a question?
I wanted to know. I just love you so much.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you were now considered an influencer?
Good question.
That's a great question.
I realized this when people started sending me messages explaining like the impact that I have on their life.
Now,
So-
with that, to whom much is given, much is required. Shout out to Elizabeth. That's my Bible. Hey, Mom. So when you started to realize that, did you take a step back? Did you just continue doing what you were doing? Or did you now start to reevaluate and be like, okay, I'm in a position to make change?
Oh yeah, definitely. So for me, even just today, I was at church. Someone walked up to me randomly and they're like, you are such an inspiration. You mean a lot to me. You are like so dope. You really, you know, brought my fears out.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that, like even from, it just made me have a flashback of the
Mm-hmm.
first messages I got when I started getting those messages.
Mm-hmm.
People really like, when people start looking up to you, you really have to take a step back and you have to be like, okay, so certain stuff you have to start cutting out, like, you know, like negativity and stuff like that, because listen, people are following you for a reason. Like they know that you have
serious?
it's that serious. Like, well, for me
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
Again, my page is very rated PG. Like it's not anything negative. There's no cussing, there's no this, there's no that. I make it that way so everyone can feel comfortable to come. So when I realized that, I had to take a step back and I had to be like, okay, Jalen, you really inspire a lot of people. What are you trying to do? And I like found that message, and it was definitely, if you guys realize, like I definitely want to inspire people to chase their dreams, but anytime I style somebody, it's definitely like a root of God within itself. So anytime I style somebody, I always mention God, or you know, it's like, it's kind of a way to kind of, yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, it's just kind of plugging in God where, you know, people don't know about him or whatnot, but that's just pretty much what it is. But yeah, I definitely had to retract and recoup.
You know what? I rate that about you so much. Like you're not afraid of the gospel. You're not afraid to hide anything. Like you talk about it constantly.
Yeah.
I want to know, what was the turning point? Because nobody starts off as a,
oh yeah, of course,
a great, like, you know, Christian pastor type of thing.
Of
like,
course.
Promoting God. Like, if you can like think back to what was the moment that changed everything, where you had a breaking point. Did you hit rock bottom and then
God
so came in?
There was two things. So the first thing was definitely I hit rock bottom for sure.
What year is this, by the way?
2016.
Oh, just
2016 was absolutely the worst year of my entire life.
Wow.
Like 2016, I hated that year. Like if you can like burn a book or burn a year, that would be the year.
Yeah.
There was just so much going on. Like not even just within family, just like, you know, just friends, like, you know, being negative and not supporting and sneaking, and just a lot was happening. And like, and on top of that, with all the comments that I was getting to, like, it was just a lot. So I was just, that was probably my depression stage, where I just shut everyone out, didn't talk, nothing, like, you know. And I realized that, like, listen, you can't do it alone. Like you can't do it alone. Like, you know, I'm here fighting, you know, the devil. I'm here fighting, like, you know, just trying to win on my own. But you can't do it on your own. Like there's a point in time where you say, listen, I can't do it on my own. Like you have to go to God.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, like, okay, like, you know, I started to pray. I started to be like, listen, like, God, like, what can I do to get out of this? Like, so what can I do to?
It was more of a humbling.
Yeah. Yes. And also too, I used to have not suicidal thoughts. Sorry, well, at one point, but I had this big fear. I wish I talked about it recently on my channel. A fear of death, and just like wondering, where do I go after that? Like, what happens? You know what I mean? Like, you can die at any point in time. Like, I always talk about that, and I think that is where I also turned, because I'm like, yeah, like, I feel like I really want to be with God. Like, you know, when my time comes, like when I have this like eternal life, like I want to experience that. I want to know what that's like. So I had to switch and like recoup. And for me, it wasn't really hard for me to turn off some of the stuff that was like, I guess, I'm not gonna say not God worthy, but if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, it didn't take me really a long time to kind of shut those things off, because I was always my own person. Like I never really, like, you know, if people were smoking, I wasn't doing it. Like if somebody was drinking, I wasn't doing it.
So you just
like,
never were like really peer pressured into.
Yeah, I was never really a person who, like, if somebody said, yo, we have to do this, I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Like that was just me.
Yeah.
That was always me. Always. And yeah, that was the turning point.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Just this past week, Bell had their Let's Talk, right?
Great.
Yeah.
And they it was about mental health and
Of
mental
course.
disabilities and all that type of stuff.
Right.
For you to come out and just say that you had suicidal thoughts, I commend it.
Right.
You know, because to some of the people watching, we don't know, like you don't know,
right,
if I'm having them right now, or
right,
if I had them before I came.
Everyone looks normal on the outside.
Right.
Yeah.
And mental health is like, it's a real thing. And like you mentioned earlier, that celebrities, like they have all this money and they have like they have everything that people want.
Right.
But like, I remember speaking to one of my friends that, like, you know, they're up there.
Right.
And he said something to me. He's like, all the money in the world and this and that. And he said, I would give up everything just for 5 minutes of peace of mind.
Right.
And I was like, So you said that you clung to Jesus, which
Yeah.
is great. Like, I understand it.
Right.
I mean, Jesus, he be the plug. You
Right.
just grab a
Right.
bolt.
Right.
But for
Mhm.
someone who doesn't know Christ, or
Mhm.
someone who didn't grow up in a Christian home or
Right.
anything like that,
Right.
and they're dealing with
Mhm.
mental illness, and understand there is absolutely nothing wrong with if you deal with mental health
Of
issues.
course.
Mhm.
There's a stigmatism on it where it's so taboo, where people
Right.
are like, you know what? We're introduced to mental illness as it's a joke, or you're crazy,
Oh,
or
of
you're
course.
No
psycho,
one takes it
Oh,
serious.
you're
100%.
this, you're that.
Yeah.
And
Speak
I
on it.
feel like that's why people don't say anything when they do have these thoughts.
Right.
It says that 1 in 4. So
Mhm.
if we count 1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
and the cameraman,
Right.
one of us is struggling with
Mhm.
a mental illness.
Mhm.
Right.
So for someone who doesn't know Jesus
Mhm.
yet, hopefully you get to know him.
Yes.
What would you say to them?
So first things first, talk to someone.
Mhm.
I feel like, again, as you mentioned,
Mhm.
especially within our community.
The Black community.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that. I don't want to come off as that, but yes, the Black community. I feel like
It's shunned. Like we
It's
don't really
just-
talk about
we don't
it
talk
at all.
about
Yeah.
it.
And like
Yeah.
we don't talk
With-
about it.
with church babies,
Mhm.
I'm a church baby.
Mhm.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Mm-hmm.
We are often like, if you say like if I go to like my mom,
Mhm.
but like as an example, because my mom's lit, she would
Mhm.
give me a different answer. But let's just say someone who grew up in church, most of the time it's like, oh no, you're fine, or okay, yeah,
Exactly.
we're gonna just pray for you, we're gonna pray for you, we're gonna
They
lay hands on
automatically
you.
label
Mhm.
it as like demon
Yeah.
possession.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
something.
Mhm.
they do. They say, hey,
Right.
you need deliverance. You're
Right.
going on the encounter, you're going on the
Mhm.
retreat or whatever.
Right.
And it's kind of dismissed.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And even though Jesus is real, yes, we know Jesus is real
Right,
and he's
right.
there and he's working.
Right.
We take practical steps.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because he created man and he gave
Yeah.
man he gave us the ability to go to school and learn.
Mhm.
And like he taught people how to teach people about the mind.
Right.
So it's like, yes, we have Jesus. And I'm
Mhm.
so thankful that you said, talk about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Say something.
Yes.
Because when you say something, even in the Bible, it says we're
Mhm.
delivered by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
Right.
My testimony isn't for me.
Right.
Mhm.
Your testimony isn't for you.
Perfect.
It's for somebody
It's for
else to
someone
hear
else.
it.
Right.
So
Facts.
when you stressed the fact that talk about it, I was like,
Yeah, because
yes.
you have to. I feel like, listen, it's the amount of like suicides that I've seen on Instagram in the past
Yeah.
month, 2
Crazy.
months, 3 months.
Yeah.
It's so disheartening to
Mhm.
see that like these people just kill themselves because they had no one to talk to.
Mhm.
I feel like you need to talk to somebody, you need to open up, and you need to catch the signs. You know, because as much as like just pay attention to your friends.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like as much as you know, everyone may seem good in the outside, we
Mhm.
never know what's going on in the inside.
Mhm.
So I try to have those conversations with my friends every so often to be like, you're okay? What's up? Let me know what's good. Or like I can just sense it. I don't know what it is about me now,
Mhm.
but like I can just sense when there's something wrong. And I have
Mhm.
to catch the signs because I don't want to be that individual who knows that my friend had to take their life away because they never got to talk about something or they never got to talk about it at all. It is very disheartening to see when somebody wants to kill themselves and it's like they just didn't have somebody to speak about it to.
Mhm.
And
That's
that
what
right
I
there
think.
just hurts me so much. Like when I see these suicidal like, you know, individuals, it hurts. It
Mhm.
honestly hurts me because I felt like they had such a long like life ahead of them. And if they
Mhm.
just had that one person to say like, you matter,
Mhm.
like you matter in this world, like you actually hold a position that God put on this life for you.
Exactly.
You matter. So
Mhm.
the fact that you felt like you didn't matter and you went through all of that,
Mhm.
nah, man, we have to do better.
Why
We
do you think,
have
why
to
do you
do
think
better.
people push them to the side though? Like if I say I'm struggling with some type of
Mhm.
mental illness, if I'm bipolar, if I'm
Mhm.
this or that, why does someone not, like a normal person look at me and say, all right, I got to put you to the
See,
side?
but that there's an issue with
Mhm.
that statement in
Right,
itself.
within
You
itself.
said, why does someone who's normal,
Mhm.
Mhm.
someone who has
Mhm.
mental
Mhm.
health, like
Yeah.
someone who is dealing with bipolar disorder,
Right.
and someone who's dealing with leukemia,
Right.
Mhm.
they are still human.
They're human.
They are
right.
still normal.
Right.
So
Mhm.
I feel like even in that, it's like we have to be careful because
Mhm.
there's nothing that separates you from
Right.
me in terms
Exactly.
of if you're having the thought
Right.
and I'm not.
Exactly.
It's just like
Mhm.
if I can sing and you can't.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Makes
So I
sense.
think that's why it's shunned. It's because growing up, coming up,
hmm
it's because they can't see it
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they can't touch
It's like
it.
they can't.
And
yeah.
when people can't understand something,
Mhm.
Mhm.
then it's like I mean, ignorance is bliss.
Mhm.
Right.
If you don't understand, then you don't know. And when
Then
people
you
don't
don't know.
understand, they
Yep.
fear it. And when people
Yep.
fear it, out of fear and out of like, I think like just disrespect, they
Right.
make jokes about it.
Yeah.
And when people make jokes about something,
Right.
you never want to be the joke.
Right.
So
That's
if
true.
you're the one that's experiencing it, you might just laugh.
Right.
You might be like, oh, okay. No. But deep down inside, it's like, I will never say anything
Right.
because you will, like,
You'll
what you
judge me.
think.
What you
exactly.
think? Yeah.
Mhm.
What you think is
Yeah.
what you just said is how you're going to view me.
Right.
And I don't want to seem less than.
Exactly.
Because everyone always has that moment where they feel less than already.
Less than,
Now
yeah.
imagine if someone's there calling you
Mm-hmm.
a schizophrenic or a psychopath
and
or
that's
something
why-
like that. You're not going to
Yeah.
say anything.
Exactly. I'm telling you, it's really a tough market when it comes to that stuff.
Mhm.
But that's why, again, I try to make my, transparency so open
Mhm.
if someone has an issue. And now I can tell I've made that impact because people will actually message me like long paragraphs on Instagram talking about I'm feeling depressed or I'm feeling this, like, what do I do, Jalen?
Mhm.
And that, to me, I love it because at least they know they have someone they can talk to.
Mhm.
I don't care how big of an influencer I am.
Mhm.
My point is to make sure that to influence people to understand that they have a position on this earth and make sure
Mhm.
that they strive in whatever position that they need to strive in. That is what I'm about.
So it's kind of a blessing and a curse being that open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, but for the most part, I don't
It's
really
worth
take it with a grain of salt because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I just love to make sure that people are, worthy of themselves and they know
Mhm.
that they're valuable
Mhm.
on this earth.
Jesus loves everybody.
And that's just what it is. Like,
And the biggest
right.
lie that the devil will tell anyone is that nobody cares about you and you're not loved.
yeah. And
That's
that's the factor of it. And that's the devil saying that.
Mhm.
That's literally the devil saying that. And I want to just shun that out and let everybody know that, like, you are valuable.
Mhm.
It's just so annoying when I like see these things on Instagram of people committing suicide and things like that. I'm just like, you have no idea if you just talk, if somebody just really just listen to that person and just help them.
Mhm.
Trust me, I'm telling you, so many people do that. And like, you just have to catch the signs. Even if you've noticed like your friend, like her bed is not made every day and she makes her bed all the time, that's a sign.
Catch a sign.
Yeah.
Catch the signs right away.
Mhm.
Like, catch them. You can't just ignore everything you see.
Mhm.
Catch the signs. You know that your friend always laughs and all of a sudden she's serious.
Mhm.
Catch the signs.
Mhm.
Catch the signs and just really be like, involved.
Mhm.
Because again, everyone's valuable. So that was intense.
So you're telling everybody, get involved with your friends.
Yeah, get involved. Get
That-
involved.
That's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for.
Like,
Get
You
involved.
were talking about 2016 being your worst year because like
Worst.
friends were turning.
Yeah,
their
there
back
was
on
no
you.
like people were turning their back on me. I didn't really have people I can talk to when I was going through suicidal thoughts,
Mhm.
and it was just like crazy. So like I'm so thankful for the circle that I have right now
I was just
because
about to ask you that.
yeah, like I'm so thankful because they are so involved. Like we're so
Mm.
involved with each other. Like
Mhm.
if we know like, hey, like my friends can sense right away when I'm off. Right away.
Yeah.
Like through a text, through a phone call, they just know. They're like, there's something wrong with you, say something. I'm like, oh, nothing. They're like, no, we're gonna sit down until you spit it out. Like that's what my friends, and I
You see,
appreciate
I
my
like
friends
that.
that like
And
that.
so many people stop
Yeah.
at the "I'm fine." Then you'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
that's
no,
cool.
my
But-
friends, they're like, listen, we're gonna have this conversation. We're not going to the mall. We're not going to eat. We're not doing none of that until we have this conversation.
Mhm.
And I'll sit there for like 5-10 minutes, sulking, rolling my eyes. But then eventually it comes out. And then they're like, see, I knew something was wrong with you. So what can we do to fix it?
Mhm.
Those are the friends you need. Those are the people you need in your life. People who actually are involved. Because when you have people who are involved, it just all coincides together. It's just, so